Clinic owners, before you spend another $3,000 on ads this month, you need to watch this video. In the last few years, I've looked under the hood of a lot of clinics. All right. And almost every time there's between $8,000 and $25,000 a month sitting in the existing patient database, literally doing nothing, collecting dust. So in this video, I'm going to show you why your list is your biggest underused asset, how to do simple back-of-napkin math on what it's really worth, and why reactivation is always step number one of building a patient revenue department. If you get this, you'll stop saying marketing isn't working for us, and you'll start saying, I've been leaving money on the table. So let's start with how most of you are set up right now. You're doing 20 to 35 grand a month, right? You got about 250 to 500 active patients, right? Maybe 1,000, 2,000 total patients in your database. You're spending around $3,000 a month on Meta ads, Google ads, getting, say, 30 leads and turning maybe a third into patients on a good month. You feel like the ad costs are killing us. Leads just aren't converting. Revenue is all over the place. So the instinct is, I need better marketing, right? I need more leads. But what we actually see when we log into your CRM is a completely different picture. Let me give you some really simple numbers, okay? Take a clinic with 2,000 people in their database. These are active and inactive patients. Average visitor package value, let's say on the low end, 200. 500 plus on the high end, right? Very conservative numbers. If all we do is reactivate 10% of that list over a year, and only a third of those actually book and show, that's 2,000 people, 10% response, that's 200 interested. 200 times 33%, right? A third of them actually book and show. About 65 visits. On the low end, each visit is worth $200, 13,000. Or 65 times 500 average per visit, 32,500. And that's off of one simple pass. Most clinics can do multiple targeted passes per month and over 30 passes per year, right? This is like bare minimum. You do this once a year, right? There's that much revenue to squeeze in your existing 2,000 patient database. I'll kind of keep some of these anonymous, right? But here's some real patterns that we see. One practice that had dropped from 125 to 65 patients in a week. They pulled a big chunk of that gap back just by reactivating people who hadn't been in for 6 months or more. Another was spending $3,000 a month on ads and barely breaking even. Once we reactivated their past patients, the extra cash from the existing list basically covered all of their ad budget, right? So it's like running ads off house money. Others saw 8 to 25K increase in a single month with zero additional ad spend purely by systematically messaging their existing database. The point here is the list is almost always underutilized and almost always the fastest win. Here's why that matters for you, and it really hits, especially if you're feeling like revenue is unstable. We're busy, but not really getting paid. Marketing is literally just burning money, right? If you pour new leads into a broken back end, you won't fix anything. It's like pouring water into a leaky bucket. You just make the chaos more expensive. It's like filling that leaky bucket faster instead of patching the holes. Reactivation does 3 things for you. 1, quick cash. So you're not trying to fix everything from a place of panic. Number 2, it's a proof of demand. It shows you what kind of offers your own existing patients actually respond to before testing it with a cold audience with ad spends that just go through the roof. There's a baseline system. This forces you to build the messaging, the follow-up, and the tracking that you'll later use on new leads too, right? So it's really patching the holes in this leaking bucket. Because once the reactivation engine is working, every new lead you buy literally is more valuable because the same system will convert them and keep them around, because there's really only two ways to grow a clinic. You either get more patients or you make more per patient. I would like to keep a patient for longer while making more per patient. Then you can really crank on the ad side instead of treating it like a Hail Mary. This is also the first job of that patient revenue department I talked about in video 1. Now, before we get fancy with ads or funnels, right, we assign one person in the business to own reactivation and follow-up. We install a simple set of campaigns, set of automations. We build a dashboard that shows us how many messages were sent, how many replies did we get, how many bookings, shows, and revenue. That department's first responsibility is to wake up the money you've already earned the right to ask for. And only after that's in place do we turn the dial on acquisition again. So here's your takeaway from this video. You probably don't need more strangers right now. You need to stop ignoring the people who already know, like, and trust you. So in video 3, I'm going to show you who inside your clinic should own this. The person we call the PRC, Patient Revenue Coordinator, and what their day actually looks like. Because if no one wakes up responsible for reactivation, it's just not going to happen, right? And it's going to keep on not happening. So click over to video 3 now, and we'll walk you through that role step by step.